Commence primary ignition.
Hello, this is voice actor Anna Graves. I am the Duchess Satine from Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're watching Virtual Cantina Network.
Awesome. Hello there.
Hello
Good evening, everybody.
there.
That was so much fun.
That was
Huge
great.
shout out to our AV team members, Jeff and Dave, who put together that fantastic little
yeah.
disclaimer for us.
Woo.
Hopefully that
That's
sets the tone of the show.
Yeah, and if you were like me before they put that together and didn't recognize the song or didn't recognize the lyrics, that was a Boonta Eve special from this special edition in Texas, where they got Matthew Wood and David W. Collins to sing. Yep, the Young G Whim, which of course is from Skeleton Crew. So I kind of kept my blinders on. I think we both did for Skeleton Crew until we actually watch it. So I didn't see this, didn't see the clip. What a fantastic piece of
that was awesome. Yeah, a lot of fun. The full version is available on the Virtual Cantina Network's YouTube page.
Yeah,
so
go
check it out. It's pretty impressive.
Hey guys.
Hello, everybody. People showed up in the chat. We've got Bruce and Troy and Kathy and Ashley. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. And look at the shiny graphics. I feel so fancy. Big ups, lots of love to Aaron Walden.
Help us
who
make
put those
this
together
look good.
for us.
Hey,
yep, here we are. The Barneses in space.
We are here.
Sort of.
Sort of. Yep. Oh,
so
it's a great night to be here.
Yes,
Happy
good
Wednesday.
evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I'm Sarah.
And I'm JB.
And you have joined us on our premiere episode of I Know.
Wow. We're so excited to finally get to the premiere episode. We've been talking about this after it was sort of, floated, as Spencer would say, voluntold. No good deed goes unpunished. We've enjoyed so much. I mean, Sarah is killing it as a co-host in Daughters. And I've had the joy ever since Celebration to do a couple co-hosting. Was on with the was on with the crew Monday, and we're loving it. And so
finally,
here we are.
Welcome to all of our fellow nerds, geeks, and fans.
And silent lurkers.
Yes,
look where you may end up in a year or so from now.
We see you, but we promise not to tell anybody. You found our cozy little corner of the internet. This is a place where we like to quote Starship, that even as the world falls down around us, we still have each other. So we're
Absolutely.
hoping to get together with friends, old and new, and just have a safe space, somewhere where we can bring some fun and some cheer and some fandom and laughs to each other. So
Yeah, this is
thank
all
you
about
so much for
fandom.
being here.
Yeah, and it's all about fandom. It's all about the various ways that we come to Star Wars, who we are, what is our stories, what's our origin stories to Star Wars, what do we like, what do we argue about, what are we passionate about, and just the joys that this can bring as we're going. And so,
And
as
we
you
hope
can,
you'll all join us, all
yeah,
these wonderful people in the chats. Add your thoughts and comments, and you can always email us at the Virtual Cantina Network email if you have need to expound further. We understand that as as true nerds, sometimes you really just gotta get your final say in there. So we'll be here on select Wednesdays, and we hope you'll join us. JB, what are we drinking for tonight?
that's right. I think tonight we've got a mocktail to try out. So this is how we're
Star Wars
starting.
themed mocktail.
That's right. This is called a thermal detonator. We'll
Thermal
get the
detonator.
there it is. The so
a fancy little
that's
slide. In
true.
case any of you got a chance to pick up some ingredients, hopefully you will join us in trying out this little delight.
So we're gonna get ours put together here. We are both, I will say, although it makes the show a little bit more interesting if we made this leaded. You saw
We're
what
keeping
you
it
can
clean
do
tonight, though, folks.
tonight.
Yeah, I've had enough nerves.
But we also have not tried this. So
of course not. That's way more fun.
It's got some jalapeno. It's got ginger beer, which I love,
some
and
mint.
some
hopefully
other crazy
mint. Stuff going on here.
We recognize with the recipe, there's not a lot of sweet to this. So
yeah, this could be bad. But we're not all that sweet anymore either. I'm
No.
not as sweet as I used to be.
No.
Okay, well, that just made a terrible mess. Okay. This is why we bring placemats. All right. Well, whatever libation of choice you might be drinking tonight, here's cheers, everybody.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
So what do you think, babe?
I like it a lot better than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, we definitely. No, I like it. I'm a huge fan of the ginger beer. It's good. It's not sweet at all. So if you like a tart flavor,
it's definitely tart and a little bit bitter. How's the spice level? There was an option of variation on which level of spiciness you want. I guess you can either have 1 to 3 slices of fresh jalapeno. I'm a baby mouth, and I have absolutely no problem admitting that. I tread softly when it comes to the spice level. But JB, how's the 3 slices?
I can taste the jalapeno. I can taste the flavor. It's not too hot at all. It's blended pretty well. I could use a little bit more heat to it if you wanted to bring it up, but.
Oh, okay. So so Sci-Fi Chick says can't do grapefruit juice because of drug interactions. Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye out that and try to find something, different variations and ideas on our lists for future months. But I would honestly think that because there isn't any sweet, you could switch this out for something else that doesn't, like maybe cranberry juice or something like that that might work. I think this would be a fun variation. You could really shake it up and play it up a lot.
It's you could definitely make this as like a punch, a Star Wars theme party punch. You could mix it up that way.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Just
big punch bowl and leave
and you could
slices of citrus floating in it. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, it's good. It's not
parties.
Not bad for the first one out of the gate. And definitely, if you all bucket juice, if you have ideas, this is we're gonna try this out as we kick off each of the shows going on in the future.
We invite you into our deco themed speakeasy. Come in, have a drink, kick your feet up. Let's chat nerd stuff. Not always, Bruce. Not always. These are mocktails. That's good. Yeah.
These are mocktails tonight. So, all right.
Well, so probably we should introduce ourselves for those that don't know us or don't know us very well. The theme of tonight is couples, Star Wars couples, us as a Star Wars couple, our favorites, history of fandom, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And as the title talks about, this is where it all began.
Yep.
And what's interesting for Sarah and I, so disclaimer, we've been married a little over 26 years.
Been together for 30. We actually met 30 years ago this autumn
in college.
University.
And so Star Wars has been always sort of a part of that, but it's grown, it's changed. We've changed with it. So what we've realized, though, when we think and we look back on it, we have a similar connection onto how Star Wars came into our lives.
Because we started as fans separately on our own, because we did not live anywhere near each other. We just happened to meet by fate when we both chose our college university. So, but yeah, it was our dad's.
It was our dad.
Yep, my dad is how I got into Star Wars, and it was a lot of fun to learn that you had a lot of similar interactions.
Absolutely. He was the Star Wars guru of the house.
See, my dad was kind of a general sci-fi fan. Was that true of yours?
Yes, but not like he liked 2001, which as a kid I slept through more than I watched, but I learned to appreciate it later. But and you know, those 70s and 80s, we were a big fan of the original Battlestar Galactica. So that was huge.
See, my dad thought you were going to say Star Trek, the original series. That was my dad's idea of a date night with my mom. Curling up on the couch on Saturdays and watching the syndicated reruns in the 70s. He was all around sci-fi fan for me. So that was the Star Trek. He got me into the original science fiction novels, Dune and Foundation and Space Odyssey. You know, we had all that in my house. And it was funny when I was doing research for this episode. I actually remembered an old memory with my dad. I was probably 7 or 8, I want to say. And because I can remember we had the TV up in one of those big, huge wall units that she used to get, right? And so it was when it was no longer the furniture, it was elevated to the wall unit, the built-in unit. And he was trying to get me to watch this sci-fi show. And he's like, well, it's like Star Wars. And I'm like, it's Star Wars? And he's like, no, it's kind of like Star Wars. And I remember this weird little box with soap bubbles coming out of it. And it was in black and white. And it cut to these old dudes speaking British. And I was like, Dad, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's called Doctor Who. It is like really huge over in England. And I'm like, well, good for England. But I'd rather watch Star Wars. So yeah, there was a lot of science fiction, but for me, it was always Star Wars that stuck. And for those of you that know me, you're probably not particularly surprised because I get sucked into the whole fairy tale hero myth kind of thing. The Joseph Campbell, Hero of a Thousand Faces and all that kind of stuff. So George did a good job writing for an 8-year-old and making it a modern space fantasy. It hooked me really early.
Yeah, out of all the shows, Star Wars was the one that connected me, I think, with my father the most. It was the one that I enjoyed the most. I think you're right. Part of it was the speed, part of it is the pace. I do specifically remember, even in, you know, A New Hope or the original Star Wars at the time, I wanted to fast through it, get to the lightsaber scene, get to the Death Star scene with the space battle, and we can skip all the other stuff. So that was the type of kid I was. I mean, so like our fearless leader Spencer, I'm about to be 50 next year. I was born in 76, so there's no such thing as not having Star Wars in our lives, and you're the same. So
yeah, I was born the same summer as Star Wars, so it's always been there. And you used to play. We've got some of your Star Wars figurines downstairs in the China Hutch. Yeah.
So I'm too young to have seen, you know, Star Wars: A New Hope
in the theater.
The theater. So we're that generation, right? It was the TV screen for at least Star Wars. I
wore the Princess Leia costumes for at least 2 or 3 Halloweens in a row growing up in the early 80s. Always. Yeah, that was what we played out on the playground. That was what we were, you know, riding our bikes around, pretending we were X-Wing fighters. Doing the dare-defying jumps and trying to do the flips and all that stuff that I would have a heart attack if my kid was doing it now.
So Sherry, yes, I have read those books. They are fantastic. Sarah has not.
I started to, but then it got really depressing, and then I need to go back to it because I think it would probably be much more interesting now. I just liked hearing him talk about it and what happened in the books, and that was kind of enough for me. I was happy with that.
But, you know, and I don't think, although I have a memory of seeing Empire in the movie theaters, I don't think I did. I clearly remember going to to a summer birthday party, mine, and sing Jedi.
Yeah.
So it was mostly the small screen, but for me, it was the action figures. I was all about. Now they were out of the box, and I was playing them in the sandbox. I broke my X-wing, the wing of it, several times. That frustrated my father, who kept having to solder it together. I mean, amazingly, the S-foils still worked, but I thought it was going to fly. It didn't. That was
so would you say that was your impetus to become a pilot, was so that you could actually make the thing fly?
Star Wars had, the Top Gun later, but Star Wars definitely when I was
in the beginning.
In the beginning, yes. So the toys were huge. I was kind of one of those kids who, I had my action figures. I had the X-wing. I had some of the ones that were never on the show, and then until you see them in Rebels, you're like, hey, or yeah. When Dave brings them on, I didn't really share very well with my brother. I would go to my friend's house because I knew they had better toys than I did. Whether it was a miniature X-wing that folded up because it crashed. My dad made a Dagobah set in our basement out of wood and
I forgot about that.
Just felt and stuff. He just put it together, and that was mine.
That's amazing. I love that. I never had Star Wars toys growing up. I don't think my mother approved. I got She-Ra toys. That's
of course.
Which is good, but now old me is sort of annoyed. I wish I'd had some of those 1970s Mattel toys.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'd like some of those, please. Thank you. But yeah, because I know that it kind of started to drop off for me a little bit in the dark days of the Empire in the late 80s.
Yep.
Middle school and high school, it was always there, but it wasn't as center stage. That's when Star Trek kind of took off for me with Next Generation. Watched it with a lot of friends. Yeah. That's when it was, the DS9 came out, and then the movies were coming out. So that was kind of big for me. But I was desperately looking for it. I don't know where it is. It's probably hidden in a box out in the garage somewhere. But I actually have a clipping from a newspaper article. It was dated 91, 92 when I was early in high school. And it had that famous picture of Han and Luke and Leia in black and white. And it was talking about George Lucas is making more movies for Star Wars, but that it's not going to be a sequel. It actually had the word prequel in quotes with a dash between the pre and the quel. And it was talking about that it's more Star Wars movies, but it's set before the original ones. And that was what kind of started to kick off that, and the fact that Timothy Zahn's books showed up at Walden Books in my local mall. I tripped over my own feet and ran into somebody. I was turning around so fast when I saw that book up on display and was like, what the crap is this? And I was thumbing through it. I was so excited. So that was what kind of kicked it back up then. And then again, meeting you in college. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember arguing with friends of mine in high school about that the prequels are going to be absolutely awesome. I was big into the soundtrack.
Yes.
We actually my parents had the LP of Star Wars. I think we had Empire too. I was
actually going to say that I think that was part of
and that's going to be a connection. Yes, that is absolutely going to be a connection.
Our dorm room, our dorm floor that we lived on, we actually met because we were in the same dorm. Guys were on third, girls were on fourth. And it was like this long kind of L-shaped. And on the short side, there were a few rooms and one of the major shared bathrooms. And my room was the closest to the bathroom. And I always had my door propped open, and I had my little boombox, Marconi. And this was something I saved up my babysitting money to buy back when I was in middle school and high school. And it was the most complete soundtrack anthology available at the time. And I would blare it. I would play it on my album, on my boombox, blasting out the door, and people would always stick their heads in. And I always knew people that I was going to be friends with and want to hang out with because they'd be like, cool, awesome, Star Trek, Star Wars, this is great, this is awesome, I love it, I love it, I love it.
The sad part is you could quote the movie while the soundtrack was playing.
I know. That was probably why
the little theater girl out of you.
Star Wars dropped off in my house, late elementary, middle school, because I can remember I heard my parents arguing in the kitchen because I was sitting on the floor of the living room playing other toys. I don't even know what it was. And A New Hope was playing on the TV, and I was quoting along in my little 8-year-old voice, every line that was going, in addition to the pew pew, dun, 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 like every single sound. And my
How
mother
did those
was like,
sounds go again?
I don't know, depends. Play me some music, I'll let you know.
One of the things that was really big in our household is my dad recorded on 8-track the NPR radio dramas from A New Hope and from Empire. That was and I listened to those over and over and over again. And a couple things like you had characters, including Darth Vader, that were different actors. It still worked. You learn some backstory, especially about Biggs and before Luke leaves. So it gave me an appreciation for a different type of media.
Here you go, John. You got to get together and see if maybe if you can burn some copies of those CDs.
John. Oh, they are the best. It is still, you hear the narrator come on and just the various chapter titles of them. The fantastic. I just remember laying in the living room listening to them over and over and over again.
That's what I do with my music. My favorite part was there was a bonus.
Skip.
There was a bonus soundtrack. This one was previously unreleased, so any of the other soundtracks that you had, it wasn't on here. And this was literally every note from the trilogy that had not been, including Cantina Band number 2, which is my favorite.
Yes,
it's better than the other one. So it's funny how those things stick with you. But yeah, my mother was like, she's seen that movie too many times. We don't need to watch that movie anymore. So
right. Well, and I think the radio drama, I love radio dramas. I'm starting to appreciate, audio books. I do. I love podcasts, but I also like, here's a Doctor Who, right? Doctor Who, Big Finish does great radio dramas of Doctor Who. It's amazing. You don't have to worry about canon, the stories that you can come up with in that medium. I think part of it is it's a story. You're still getting great actors. You're getting the music. You're getting the sound effects, but it's still the visuals in your head. So you can, just like reading a book, but there's a little bit more to it. So it's fun. Audiobooks are starting to come along those ways, including the Battle at Jeddah was a good example of it in the High Republic series. So, all the, and that was NPR back in the day that did those. So I hope we get more of it in some format.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, I feel really bad. We're probably going to catch some slack for this. I don't remember when we both figured out that we were Star Wars fans.
It was probably that. Well, that's a good question. It probably was you listening to your music.
I don't remember a moment, right? Like we didn't have a conversation about it. It was just like, oh, you like Star Wars? Yeah, I like Star Wars. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yes. I remember. So, this is probably a couple years. We started dating. I was a sophomore. You were a freshman. Mm-hmm. So, and I remember after you showed me that box, I'm like, I want that. My dad was a little smarter than I was. That he's like, you may just want to wait and see how things work out. You may have it in your house anyway.
Oh my God! Did he actually say that?
Oh yeah.
So you're saying that's what sealed the deal?
Well, something. All right. I'm a Machiavellian guy. I mean, I told you I went to the kid's house because they had the better toys than I did. Well, you had the CDs. So.
Yeah, you came. You got married me, so you can get my Star Wars music. All right. This is like.
Yep. I think it. Somehow we started talking about it. You introduced me to Timothy Zahn's books in college.
Well, I feel like you either had heard of them or started reading them, but I remember being mortally offended that you hadn't finished them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'd started and it dropped off, or like the third one hadn't come out yet, and I was like, "What are you doing? You must read now." Yeah.
I was in high school. I started to read a lot more than I did younger. I was late coming into enjoying, but I was reading the Tom Clancy and all the James Bond spy novels I can get my hands on.
Cripes, I forgot. Yeah, you were reading those Fleming books.
So, that's right. So it wasn't until
maybe that was why I wanted to strangle you, because you were reading that.
So that means I think Star Wars definitely set me on a path of science fiction literature, which is why I love the Kim Stanley Robinson Mars book so much. It was a good launching pad, I think, because it was Star Wars is what I knew. It's exciting. I play the music in the background, and I mean it was something. It was our first sort of sequel, I've enjoyed.
It launched the EU, right? Because after
did
those
launch
books
the EU.
were done, that was free reign. That it was open property after that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But we also actually have another really good memory from college about Star Wars that you actually reminded me about.
Uh-oh.
That we
I
saw
don't know
the
where we're going.
trailer
Oh,
together
yeah.
for
Yes,
the special edition for the first time. So
that's
we
true.
went to school in a small town in Iowa. Charming little rural town, didn't have crap for movie theaters, especially in the 90s. And I grew up in Omaha, which is just a really fast 3-hour drive down the interstate.
Especially
Where
when
they
you
had
were
a
driving. You
okay.
in Tweaky.
Another sci-fi reference. I named my first car after the robot in Buck Rogers. Beady, beady, beady. Because he was just this little goldy, coppery, beat up piece of crap. So it worked. It worked. What can I say? But we had to go back to my hometown to get to the good movie theater. And so we had gone back in 1990. What'd you say? Was it 96
96.
for First Contact. I was really excited about the first proper Next Generation movie. And it was while we were sitting in that theater that the Star Wars trailer for the special edition came on. And it was the one
And
that
we're that
starts with
generation.
that little
Yeah. Oh
for
my
a
God.
whole
Yep.
generation, they've only ever seen Star Wars like this. And then the X-Wing comes flying out of the TV and explodes on the screen. And then I screamed. I
I think
jumped
the
up out of
whole
my
theater
chair.
screamed
Everybody erupted. Everybody screamed.
because it was packed.
It was totally packed. It was opening weekend. There was no Trek versus Star Wars. Everybody was on their feet, fist pumping, cheering, clapping, screaming, everything. It was crazy. So we immediately started making plans for when they were opening and when they were going to come back. And we actually started ditching classes. We waited for the
Yep.
weekend for First Contact, but we completely ditched classes because kids gather around. We have a sale to tell of when you didn't used to be able to buy tickets on your phone. There was barely a thing called the internet, and you used to have to stand in line if you wanted to get good seats, and then go sit in your seats for hours waiting ahead of time.
Right.
And we actually on the last one got this little gem.
Oh.
The special edition, and we actually got, you can't see it because of the light reflection, but we got the misprint, the one that says March 7th, 1997. And they actually pushed the release date back a week. So it didn't come out until March 14th. So
you can see she's been hiding that from me because it's still in the box.
But actually, that's the one where the glue's starting to fail and it's coming loose. Unlike the one Darth Vader toy that my son got a hold of when he was a toddler and ripped open for me. Nearly took several years off my life. It's all right. He's still alive. He's still breathing. So.
But yeah, we saw each one of those special editions, and we made the drive to Omaha. I started to learn that you were the collector because of Hallmark and Hallmark Star Wars toys.
God, I forgot the ornaments. I worked at Hallmark during college, and you came and visited me. You were witness to my shame, to my obsession. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yep. I started collecting all of the Star Wars ornaments. Actually, we need to find a place around here. I used to put it on the curio cabinet. I have snow that I'd put up, and I'd set up my ornaments with little fairy lights underneath it, and we'd have the big epic battles. And haven't done that since we had kids, and then we had cats. Never a good idea. I don't need them chewing on my lightsaber toys. It's not good.
Well, now we have the next generation, and
yes,
we were fortunate enough. We saw the prequels at 3 different assignments. If memory serves, we were in Oklahoma when we saw the first episode 1. We saw that 5 times. We were in Alaska when we saw episode 2, and we were.
I saw it 6. You saw it 5. I went without you once.
Yes, and then we were in North Carolina when episode 3 came out.
Yeah, I was unbeknownst to me carrying my second child. I was newly pregnant, which is why I was crying and shaking and hysterical and feeling like I was going to puke for like the whole back third of Revenge of the Sith. I still maintain it was the movie that did it, but it was probably being newly pregnant.
Yeah. But it is a good, with the kiddos, we had to figure out how we were going to introduce them to Star Wars. So we won't open up the debate to everybody.
Just drop a match on a pile of lighter fluid, why don't you?
But
holy crap.
We started with the kiddos with episode 1. I don't remember how old they were.
There was a big debate. We went round and round and round. We pulled our Star Wars.
Again, we argue about Star Wars
all the time. I actually asked the boys today, and both of them thought that they were living in North Carolina at the time. And that sounds about right, because Ian would have been Tyler would have just turned 6 right after we moved
Yeah.
there, and Ian would have been 8 going on 9.
That makes sense.
And I think it was probably the next year, because I think what happened he went to a 7-year-old's birthday, and they were starting to show him Avenger movies. I was like, whoa, wait, hold on. Wait, you're showing up what? And we started to recognize that we were going to lose them, and someone was going to spoil it if we didn't, jump on this thing. So, Dave O'Neill asked where in North Carolina. We were living in, he was stationed in Fayetteville. No Hope.
No Hope Pope.
Fayetteville.
Pope Air Force Base, back when it was still there, before it became Pope Field, right next to.
But we were living in a little town just north of there called Sanford.
Yep.
And we moved there right after 9/11. That was in 2003. And he was gone a lot.
Yep.
But he managed to be home long enough for us to have 2 kids. One was born right after we got there, and one right before we left. Yeah. So he was there for just that long enough, and then we moved again.
I will say that the kids watching, particularly the prequels, reminded me that in my opinion, George Lucas made Star Wars for 8 to 10 to 11-year-olds. Yeah. And us as adults, we are just fortunate enough to get the tickets to come in. Watching the glee, the goofiness of the characters.
I was not expecting that. I mean, you and I just sat there and looked at each other like, for reals? For reals? No. They loved it. Absolutely loved it.
So, but after 2, we did introduce them to the originals, and then we came back to 3. And
when they were a little bit older.
And they've kind of, as they've gotten older, they've kind of gone off on their own. And some things they watch with us, and some things they don't. And we get to argue. Yep. But I think, Princess, it's time to get off the fighting for the order and get on fighting towards who we think are the top 5 favorite couples of Star Wars.
Well, we haven't quite gotten there yet. If you want to, we can. But the other thing we were going to talk about is we're going to argue about what are good entry points for today in Star Wars.
Yeah, and fair enough. You've got a great story for that, so I'll let you do that story real fast, and then we'll go to our top 5.
All right. Okay. Well, no, it looks like Mark's ready to jump. So let me just tell the story real quick. You guys, you won't believe this. We had a party last Saturday at a former coworker of JB's, and a lot of State Department people were there. And these were all people that we'd had before. We were having a backyard party, barbecue, whatever. And we knew that the show was coming, and we were thinking about, what it was like with our kids and what other people can do and all that kind of stuff.
Aaron.
Very good. Yeah. No, we said couples, not duos. And there was actually a couple people in the group that were like, I've never seen Star Wars. And Dee, she was like, I've never seen Star Wars, Star Trek, none of that kind of stuff. But Anna, who was sitting next to me, was like, yeah, she said, I never really got into that. And she's like, I think maybe it's time. And I went, really? My ears perked right up. And I was like, oh. And she goes, yeah, but I just don't know where to start. And I was like, everybody out of my way. This is it. Okay. So this is, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm looking at Jay going, did you set this up? And he was like, no, I had no idea. No, but what I told her was I said, for me, you are an adult. You are well into your 30s. You don't know anything about it. You need to start with Andor. That's where you got to start. For someone who doesn't know anything about Star Wars, and if you're a grown-up, start there. And then you can go to Rogue One, and then you can go into the original trilogy, and then just go wherever it takes you from there. Yeah. So yeah, I thought
I was impressed. That wouldn't have been probably where I would have recommended, but I think it's a fantastic choice. I am happy now to be, for this story to have so many various gateways.
Same.
Whether it's the sequels, the prequels, the originals, Andor. I mean, it is fantastic that we can do that. We're going to table.
Yeah, I just told her. I said, as long as you know Empire is bad, Andor's going to take you wherever you need to know. You don't need to know all this stuff, and you can be introduced to it in bits and pieces slowly in a story that's relevant for now, for this time. So
yeah, and you can start with you can start with the books. You can start with the comic books. Start with the radio dramas. Let's bring them back.
Whatever floats your boat after that. So yeah.
All right. Are you ready?
You're ready to get into this, aren't you?
So
you looked at the slides.
I didn't. I closed my eyes. So for everybody's awareness, Sarah and I have picked our top 5. We have not shared them with one another. So we think we've got some
This is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Because you know what, y'all? Because there's a lot of tragic couples in Star Wars. In fact, I think that might be the only thing they all have in common.
It's funny you say that. That was going to be my theme of the whole entire couples.
Well, and so I had to distill it down, and I'm like, how do I pick? There's so many, and I like these, and I respect them, and they're really important, and da. So I had to boil it down to what does favorite mean to me. And for me, Star Wars, my favorite part of Star Wars has always been the cheese, the humor, the snark, the banter, the bad jokes, the sarcasm, the things that make me, just like you did, LOL. That's my favorite part of Star Wars. Those are always my favorite episodes, my favorite characters, my favorite shows, my favorite parts of the movies. I need a drink to decide. Exactly. And so that was where I decided to focus. It was the couples that brought me joy, that made me go, "Aww." It's I want to watch them over and over again. They'll bring me to the table. Oh, it's about them. I'll watch that. I'll watch that. So that was kind of the angle that I had to come at it from, because I'm a very empathetic person, and there's only so much I can take. So for me, it's the who brings me joy.
That's interesting. I'm surprised we have any that overall.
Right?
But I hear we have a couple. So
that doesn't surprise me. You took the Hamlet route, didn't you?
Yeah. Look,
his favorite Shakespeare play is Hamlet. Okay, at 2.5 hours of this guy waffling, not being able to make up his mind, and ending in tragedy. That should tell you all you need to know about JB right there.
What you will learn from me, the two things: I love romance. I'm a huge fan of a rom-com, but I also really like tragedy. So if I can put them together, that is
You're a weeper. You're a weeper. To quote Jude Law from The Holiday, it's a song on the radio, a poem, a well-written birthday card, tears, streaming tears, right there.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, are you ready?
Gloves off. I suppose so. All right, we're starting at number 5.
5.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Really?
Bring it on. Bring it. Come on, haters gonna hate. I want to hear.
I'm not.
Nope.
I will say this is not on my list, but
no, I loved Mandalorian season 3. I loved it. And these two now, so all of my deep divers into the dark corners of the internet, I heard tell there was a rumor that there was supposed to be a kiss between these two.
Oh, really?
That ended up on the cutting room floor. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but figure it out. Let me know. Send me the proof. Send me the deets. Give me the tea. I want to know. Or the thermal detonator, whatever works. Yeah, these two. This is the couple I want to keep coming back for, because I want to see them together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it.
Season 3, it was like they knew it was the last season, right? And so they basically opened up all the doors. They brought in all the lore. They brought in from Clone Wars. They brought in from Rebels. They made more women characters center focused. They changed the story. And they started opening up with the writing, right? Like, write whatever the hell you want. They did a Doctor Who, right? Just whatever floats your boat. The moon's an egg, like just go for it, right?
Can they write off on a mythostar?
I hope so.
Together,
I'm here for it. That buddy cop episode was what put these two on the radar. The pinging off of each other, the looks through the helmets, the goofiness, the WTF moments, the quirky music, the silliness. That was what put him on my radar. And when Din Djarin looked at her and said, "Your song has yet to be written, and I will be by your side until it is done." You guys, I almost slid off the couch. And I'm like, these two broken orphan Mandalorians need to find redemption and love and peace and joy with each other. I need it. I have to see it. It has to happen. It better happen.
No, I like it. I like the fact that we've got story in front of us with these two.
Me too. So this is my couple to be. Fingers crossed. Please make it real, because they bring me joy.
Yeah, right. No, and I'm getting the hopeful joy vibe out of you. And if we've got from the pilot, old pilot runway to in front of us, then that is good. I think there's some hope here. Star Wars track record, as I'm about to tell, is not.
I'm not listening.
All right. Well, I didn't have them in my top 5. Here's number 5. It's the Chosen One and the Queen, and Senator in this case. So, and it's funny too, because Mark in a couple of episodes have been talking about how when you see these two in the movies, the storyline is not that great. But when you see them in the Clone Wars, their storyline is fleshed out a lot better.
Disagree.
I
okay. There's
I kind of disagree.
I don't like them anymore. I just don't like them anymore.
But here's my thought. I think number one is I think they are most happy as a couple during the Clone Wars themselves, and we get the chance to flush out a lot more. We get to flush out Obi-Wan and Annie's relationship as well as theirs too. I think that.
I'm with Liberty on this one. Oh no! Then you pull out Annie and Padme. I agree. 100%.
This is This is a tragic story from beginning to end. We know where he's going. We know we've got to get there, and we know that it is a love story where it is obsession. There's clearly there's happiness, but there's tons of sadness. And I will say this about Lucas. Lucas is a visual director. And I think there's a lot of neat scenes, especially episode 2, visually of the two of them. His dialogue,
because he can't write dialogue. His
love dialogue is made. He's got great quotes that we do, but some of the dialogue is can be challenging. But I think visually, I think of the visuals of the struggle that both of them are having towards the end of episode 3 before Anakin, of course, goes off and becomes Vader. There's the tension. But both of them also have their own identities, but they're also both obsessed with what they can be. I'm with you.
No, I'm trying to be respectful, but I'm sorry. The fact that he just murdered an entire village of an indigenous tribe of people.
Yeah.
Red flag, sweetie. Red flag.
Red flag on the field.
Walk the fuck out of there, and he'd been lucky if I wouldn't have turned him over to a tribunal for the Republic. Holy shit, man. No. That is. Therapist says that's not how we deal with trauma. No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that would have been a deal breaker for me right there. I'd have been all done. So.
All right, number 4.
Are you ready? Okay.
We're ready.
That. I had a tie.
I was gonna say I don't see one couple there. You cheated.
I did not. Nobody said you couldn't have a tie. I couldn't decide between the pairs of parents of the Skywalkers, the adoptive parents of the Skywalkers. I couldn't pick between the two of them.
That's interesting.
I loved both of them. You did not say no ties. Total lie. You didn't say it to me. I didn't hear nothing. No, I loved both of these couples individually. I absolutely adored them. And they both came from Kenobi, which again is another reason, part of why I love that series so much. The dedication and the determination. And I mean, the absolute level of bullshit they had to put up from these Skywalker children. I mean, my God, they both deserve Saints medals. All of them, both couples do. I loved the fact that Bail Organa was able to do with Breya that Anakin was not able to do with Padme. He was perfectly happy being her arm candy and running his happy little Senate job and keeping house and chasing after the child and everything else. She ruled the whole planet. And but I'm a Midwestern girl. I'm from Omaha, and I know these kind of people. They're simple people. They're farm people. They're kind people. They take care of each other. They take care of their town. But you come for my kid, and I will blast you with the sawed-off shotgun. Like, just absolutely not, under no circumstances. I love the fact that in this show, they knew this day was coming, right? They knew who they had in their care, who was their child in their home. And they were prepared, especially Beru. She was ready. She's like, I got this. It's handled. And the look on Owen's face, he was like, what is happening? What is happening? And she's like, go, move. I loved everything about these two couples together and how they supported each other and how they raised these children of trauma and tragedy into literally to be heroes of the galaxy. So for me, I get a big with both of these people. So I couldn't pick. They're twins. I feel like that's fair.
Okay. So I see what you're saying. In fact, Owen and Beru I was wrestling with pulling them on. Again, tragic story. We kind of know where they're going. It is.
Yeah, it doesn't end well
do.
for either couple, which is like thoroughly disappointing. You know?
I love the fact I was wanting to have more of them when we knew they were going to be shown in episode 3.
Mhm.
So the fact that we were able to get that
In Kenobi.
and Kenobi, I loved. Partly because I like the scene. It's a short scene, but I like their scene when they're talking about Luke and they're talking about Luke's not a farmer, and you see the compassion that they both have, but they're also approaching it from difference. And you're watching Beru's able to let go. She's got a love that's able to let go, and Owen is doing what he thinks he needs to do to protect him and all the worries that he has. So no, I appreciate it. They're good together.
All right.
All right.
What's your number 4?
More tragedy.
Yeah, this was a hard one. I really struggled. This one almost made my list too. This was hard. This was the big one I waffled.
Okay.
Interesting. But they don't bring me joy.
Yeah.
They break my heart, and they make me cry, and it makes me want to slap both of them. And so I couldn't. That's the only way I could start to separate all the characters. I love so many couples, but so good picture.
It's fantastic. I loved it. I love finding this one. It's a great one. I really enjoy the stories that when it is hell around you, love finds a way, and it's manifested in a really strong couple dynamic story. And that's what these two were for me while we were watching, Andor in both the seasons. And they are coming at from very, very different paths, both traumatic in ways, and they are trying to fight like hell to be together, but they also know that they've got a higher purpose of what they're fighting for, which in this case is against the Empire. And it's zeroing in on that story. That's just I love those type of stories when you hear since it's talking to the 12-year-old after Vel after Cinta's death, talking to the 12-year-old, who wants to play soldier. You can feel the love, even though she doesn't talk. I think I know I shouted when the death happened. It's just it was a gut punch watching them. So
and I knew it was coming, and I still cried. I knew it was coming because I watched them all first, and then you watched your face, and you're like, "Wait, who was that?" And I'm like, "Oh God."
That's true. Oh, you're right. You're right. I forgot about the fact that you couldn't wait for me to come home to watch the episode.
And then you pulled a Luke, and you're like, "No."
No, I know. It was one of those. So, but just a fantastic.
I have to say that might also been another reason I couldn't put him on the list, is because I'm just bitter they didn't make it. I'm just mad.
I am too.
It was a hell of a good story, well written, well acted, but I'm still just pissed. Yeah,
it'd be great to see their story, the two of them fighting on longer, but it's not to be. All right, number 3. Well, we're still in this part of the galaxy. Right?
Yep, it was this scene. It was this scene right here. I was really not sure about this couple for a long time. Their ups and downs and their backs and forths and their traumas and everything else. But it was this scene right here, and it going around the internet and saying, "Find you a man that'll do this for you." And I was like, I did. I got it. Jason would 100% break me into an office building and help me blow it up. And the look on her face right there, that she's just like, hell yeah. He's like, okay, here we go. This was it. Yeah, these two. Even though again, tragedy at the end. They just the realness of this relationship and the evolution of it over time. It was just stunning. It was just stunning. It was so breathtakingly real. At least in my mind, of what people must suffer when they're in the middle of something like this. How you try to always make the best decision and the right decision, and you always have each other's back, no matter how screwed up the couple that stays together. Very good, Ashley. So I was just like, this moment always brings a smile to my face, and I would watch that moment over and over again. So
it is a great one, and I think I love the fact that they work their story together. I love the safe house scene. I love the two of them in the safe house, which it's safe to a degree. We don't know, no one knows, especially the first time you see it, but after you've seen it once, they're not going to get busted into by the Empire, but you're watching it, but you're still watching the intensity and each other trying to comfort one another. but they've both got so much that's going on internally that they need to continue to work out. But they are still helping each other get through this part. I would love to see, we know there was a year, right? A year jump. I would love to, get that year filled in with them. It was gutsy writing it because we also know where it's going. We know where Rogue One takes us with Andor. So it was.
One of the few times when I was willing to take a knife in the heart for a couple. One of the few times I was willing to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. We get a little bit of a Spielberg ending with Bix.
A little bit.
In a way. So good.
All right. What about you? Really?
Yes. I could not have them on the list. And this isn't, Yeah. Are you surprised?
That is not the couple I thought we overlapped on. Nope.
Oh, fascinating. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay. Yes. And
there's two overlaps. Sorry, guys, not just one.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, phew. All right, good.
It's interesting. There was only two. I thought we were going to have more overlaps, but I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we only had two.
Just keep it fresh, babe. 26 years.
We can argue about it more later. Yeah. No. This. I love the fact that we don't know their backstory. Although I would love for someone to write it.
Please. And more than just a novel. Like I need multiple novels. I need comic books. I need more than just a book. That's not enough.
That said, it's kind of fun to see them know that they have a history, know that they have genuine affection, although no one ever comes out and says it's love. Until you get, especially towards the tragic end, it starts to really come out. Is there, but they both went on different paths. In some way, absolutely, Dave. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with her 100% on that one too. Yep.
In some ways, this story to me is the opposite side of the coin from Annie and Padme.
I was just going to say the same thing,
especially with the tension, the Jedi Order saying love is forbidden or attachment is forbidden.
These are my number twos.
These are the two pieces. Yeah. So this is
number 2 on my list.
Oh, so. Yes, that makes sense. This is the. They chose to go their separate ways. Annie and Padme chose to be hidden and have their love and their obsession, which tumbled them into the tragedy.
To me, this is altruism and versus selfishness. This is giving of yourself to a higher purpose versus putting your own needs and wants first.
Yeah, actually, you're absolutely right.
That's kind of what I saw them be, and I always loved the Gift of the Magi version of Obi-Wan and Satine. For those who don't know, the Gift of the Magi is an old book, and it was made into a movie. Where there's a couple that they're newlyweds, and he has this historic family pocket watch that he's had forever. That's this great pride, and she has this long, gorgeous, beautiful hair. It's always been one of her, greatest vanity points, and he loves her hair. And they're a new couple, and they're starting out. They don't have a lot of money, and they want to get these really special Christmas gifts for their first Christmas. He sells his pocket watch to buy her this gorgeous headpiece for her hair, this comb to hold up her nice, long, gorgeous locks. And she cuts off her locks and sells them in order to buy him this beautiful chain so that he can carry his pocket watch out and about in the house. And that's what they give each other for Christmas. They gave up what was most precious to them to give a gift to the other person. And to me, that's what Satine and Obi-Wan are both doing. He would have left the order for her if she had asked, but she would never ask that of him.
Yeah.
And that's why they're not together. And to me, that just, again, just melt right off the couch. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And to me, in some version of a multiverse, this is my own headcanon. If for whatever reason, if the Jedi had figured out who Palpatine really was, if Anakin had hauled off and killed him, whatever, if the Clone Wars had ended, there's a part of me, my vision for this is Obi-Wan would have still been as traumatized by everything that happened that far. Like, I think he would have been like, holy crap, what did we almost do? And I think he would have left the Order to go hang out with Satine and bring her pacifist Mandalore into place. If Death Watch was gone and the Clone Wars was over, I think these two could have made it. I think they could have been a Brea and a Bail. I think that they could have lived happily ever after. So that's my little headcanon. That's the happy little story I tell myself in some multiverse version of Star Wars somewhere. Anakin and Padme grew the hell up and weren't such whiny, selfish people. Obi-Wan and Satine are off having little golden-headed siblings of Corkies on Mandalore.
Oh, you said it.
All happy and roses. That's
I
my
do
little version.
think they make each other better, and they push, especially when we get them in these scenes. They push each other's what have become their beliefs and what they, which for Obi-Wan, it's fighting the Clone Wars. For her, it's protecting her planet and take a pacifist, and they push that, but in a very kind and loving way. So
well, I think the only time that they actually take a step back and pull their heads out of their own asses, so to speak, is when they're with each other. When they're alone together and they're bickering their ideas back and forth, they kind of take a step back and they're like, whoa, you're right. Why are Jedi generals? Whoa, you're right.
Yeah.
Hang on. Death Watch is out to get me. Like,
Yeah.
the only time they breathe and they look above the mire that everybody's trying to put them in, the Emperor and the Sith and the Separatists and everything going down here, they're all in the weeds, right? And so they help make each other better because they take a step back and they take a look around, but then they get thrown into it again. They're torn apart, they're thrown into it, and they lose the forest for the trees, so to speak.
Yep.
So
all right, so this is your 2.
yes, this was 2, so that's easy.
Yep.
There we go.
All right, so my second is old school.
Oh
but
dear.
with a nose twist. So this is the original love story that came out. I chose this picture because I actually like, it doesn't. This is a scoundrel and the princess, right? It's their story. It doesn't end particularly well, I think, as it goes on, but I think for the times that we have, some of the books that fill in some of the space helps, with the two of them and their story that we don't necessarily get for the movies. But I love the fact that they've got a strength and they come back to one another. The smuggler and the general, yes.
I'm just over here sipping my drink. Don't mind me.
That they've got a foundation that they can do, and they've weathered so much, even though they've often found themselves, apart and then having to bring back together. They come from 2 very, very different worlds. I think they were able to make a lot of it, and I appreciate now that we're older and now that we have grown-up children, to think about the challenges that they've had in their own galaxy as a couple. I like where the gruffness has come on both of them in some ways, but they continue saving the galaxy.
No, they raised the destructor of the galaxy. So yeah. No, sorry, couldn't disagree more. Couldn't disagree more. I know I'm gonna get DM'd. I'm gonna get dragged for this, but I don't care. Yeah, no, it's not. No, and I think it took me a long time to try to figure out why. But speaking of which, The Princess and the Scoundrel, did you ever read that book by Beth Revis?
Nope, it's on my to-do list.
I read it 3 years ago, and in thinking about this, I was trying to figure out why, and I realized this was never a big romance thing for me when I was growing up. Han Solo's an ass. I'm sorry. I know everybody thinks that's like cool, but he's an ass. I didn't know what that word was or what it meant when I was 7 or 8 years old, but I do now. And I think what really was bugging me through the book, The Princess and the Scoundrel, it picks up right after the Battle of Endor, and it's their wedding and all that kind of stuff. I was really hoping that it would open my eyes and give me some better foundation for their relationship other than just what was happening in the movies. He always just kind of annoyed me. And unfortunately, that continued in this book. In this entire book, what he is trying to do is he is trying to get Leia to leave. That's all he cares about. He's like, nope, did it. Blew up 2 Death Stars. That's it. We're done. I'm leaving. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do some racing. I'm going to go fly some ships. Let's go do this together. And she's like, are you serious? We just got married. I've got this thing that you're going to leave. And he's like, well, come with me. And this entire book, all he's trying to do is get her to give up on who she has been since she was like 12 years old. And I think it really rubs me the wrong way because it kind of reminds me of some couples that we've known over the years in your military career that being in service has just kind of broken their relationship.
That's fair.
And I think it's because it doesn't matter what kind of service you're in, if it's medical service or military service or, you know, political service, it takes a very particular kind of person. And I think one of the things that I've learned over the years is that I not only have to understand and recognize that part of you, I have to love it and I have to embrace it. Because you're a very special person who's willing to put yourself on the line to help others. And I mean, Leia was a junior senator early on, but Bale tried to keep her out of the rebellion. He tried to keep that from her. And she was like, nah, I'm all in, man. Here we go. This has been her entire life. And Han just wants her to pack up and walk away from the galaxy and go, you know, putter around in his RV of a ship. And I'm like, nah, man. I think it just kind of rubs me the wrong way. I think it's unbelievably selfish of him. You know, people can have different hobbies and ideas and things, but this is not just a job to Leia. This is not just showing up and blowing some shit up and saving the day and taking your money and going home. This is who she is. She's never not going to be someone who serves in some way the galaxy as a whole. And the fact that I think they're very attracted to each other and I think they love each other, but I'm not sure that they actually love who the other person is. Certainly not on the part of Han, because even when their wedding, you know, when their marriage fell apart, he just takes off and leaves. He doesn't want to be involved. He doesn't want to. And I'm like,
where we run into them in Bloodline. That's
it's just. I was like the same thing in Bloodlines. You know, it's just, and I think it's just that selfishness that just irks the crap out of me. It's like having a popcorn hole stuck between your teeth. It just bugs me, and I'm like, you know what? You're an ass. Go away. So yeah, sorry. There it is, y'all. I hope I've scandalized you thoroughly. But yeah, it just doesn't, to quote Spaceballs, they just don't do it for me. I just never did. I don't have that nostalgia thing from childhood. And yeah, this just rubs right up against my my core beliefs. So I can't do it.
All right. I think we have.
That means I know that we have a tie. Oh, wait. Oh,
we have some honorable mentions, which are ones that didn't make the list. And the way that this is Sarah's.
Finn Poe. There we are. Yep. I love him. This is to be just like Din and Bo are the couple that I'm hoping to be. This is the couple that should have been. This is the couple that ever was. And it completely horks me off because Disney totally wussed out. That was my favorite part of episode 7 was when the two of them are trying to get off the Imperial, and they're trying to steal the X-Wing or the TIE fighter or whatever the hell it was. There were sparks flying, man. I don't even know where they were, what they were saying, or what was going on. There were sparks coming off this screen, and I wanted this to happen, and I am so peeved it never did. So that was my honorable mention. Yep.
All right, mine. I'm a sequel fan. I'm not a big fan of episode 7, but I actually like this dynamic. I thought when we got away actually from the old guard, I think the stories got interesting. I think the dyad and the Force and the fact that they could connect through this, you know, it is interesting. No one's ever sort of claimed when we have the kiss at the very end and the sacrifice. Was it a kiss out of love? Was it a kiss of thank you? Was it friendship? That is never, you know, it's sort of still out there. But I actually like this pair. It kept me guessing a little bit of who's going to turn who towards the end. And maybe that's because I'm gullible or I like to just kind of enjoy my fantasies and not think too deep into them. But I enjoyed the tension. I enjoyed the fight. I enjoyed the connection that they had. And to me, the episode 8 was out of the allowed this relationship to grow the best out of the sequels.
It was the one where it irritated me the least.
I'm actually a huge fan of Rey. But again, so there we go. I would have liked to have gotten more out of it and from it.
Okay.
All right. Number 1, Reylo. Hi, Laura. Yep.
Is that where we overlap?
This is exactly where we overlap. I guess that this is where I was going to.
Nobody. I mean, just look at the graphics, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's. I mean, there's a good example of hell. This is tonight.
Yeah.
This to me is what would happen if the Jedi Council kept their nose out of Jedi business and allowed relationships to happen. You know, we talked about the struggles that Anakin and Obi-Wan had being in it. Kanan is no longer, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have, you know, I think it's a big loss to him. I mean, he was as a Padawan, a young Padawan, he was probably trained about not getting attachments. And so this probably, I imagine this probably took time.
Sherry
But,
said no surprise on that pick. Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate that.
I love it. I love the Jedi, the pilot, the bickering that they do back and forth.
Sounds very familiar. Yeah, we knew we were in trouble when the first season of Rebels, our kids kept looking at us going, "Oh my God, they are so you."
It's mom and dad on the spaceship.
There we go. Yep.
So.
Yep. But interestingly enough, it would flip back and forth between.
Absolutely.
Because you're obviously much more the pilot, but I would usually say things Hera said. But then sometimes we'd flip, and I'm more Kanan, and you're more Hera.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm definitely the one that would probably get more cozy with the Rebels and want to join them and be part of that organization. And you're like, we got it good over here. I'm good with smuggling stuff here and there and living on our own.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm much more that I don't like being told what to do kind of person.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow, that's funny. I mean, you know, not a surprise. But yeah, definitely top 5 all the way. Again, ends in tragedy, doesn't end well.
It does. That is the theme. I wrote down the theme. All Star Wars love stories end in tragedy. Period.
So far.
So I hope your Mandalorians make it.
Me too. Oh
I'm
God.
Never tell me the odds, but I'm not putting a bet on it.
Yep.
Fantastic.
All right. There
That's
we
a
are.
wonderful show.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
There we are. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that. That was fun.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. It was a lot of fun having all of the chat comments. We are sorry we weren't able to keep up with them very much. Yeah. So, okay, that's an interesting list, Liberty. I like it.
I love it.
2 and 3. I love it.
Couple great things this week still, right?
Yes.
We still have
Classical is coming up all around through the next week.
We've got the.
Do we have that graphic in the show? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, but we know. Let's see. Today's Wednesday, so tomorrow night we've got
our watch
the watch along, right? Rebuild the Galaxy, episode 1 and 2. And then a lot of Rebuild the Galaxy in the near future for folks, which is in the VCN, which is watch it all. I mean, and if you haven't seen it, it's fantastic.
Jump in. They're only 20 minutes each. Lighthearted, fun, entertaining.
Great to know that Star Wars doesn't take itself too seriously.
On certain accounts.
Yes. Sunday, of course, we got the Jedi Archives. They're doing a Rebuild the Galaxy review. So, and in a couple weeks, VCN,
and then on Monday,
Monday's Clone Wars
Revisited. Yep. Coming back, and then next Wednesday will be the Nerf Herders.
Yep. And then you'll have a Daughters a week after, and we will be back.
Yes.
A month from now-ish, the 29th of October. So it's
5 Wednesdays in October, so that makes the shuffling the schedule around a little bit weirder. But I'm thrilled because we get to celebrate spooky season.
It's spooky season.
Yep. Got the Halloween decorations up. Got the Halloween t-shirts out. It is time. Super excited. Join us. We're going to be talking about all things spooky, delightful, what makes us happy this season, and sharing some of our top 5 scary Star Wars moments.
Yeah, that'll be good.
New fun cocktail on the line. Let's keep your eyes peeled. Feel free to reach out through email or through our DMs. Give us thoughts, ideas for the show.
Yep.
There we are.
Yes. Can't wait.
Lots of VCN meetups going around the country coming up. We've got one in Chicago. I think we've got one out on the West Coast.
That's Diana Santos. So that's
special event. Man, only time I'm sorry I don't live at Scott Air Force Base anymore.
Yep.
Love to be there for that.
Yeah. Would love to get back to Chicago, but
yes, Spencer, my shirt does say resting witch face. Exactly. It does.
Are we surprised?
Thank you. No. Surprising, actually, no one.
But it was wonderful having you, our Star Wars family, with us. Thank you so much. Thanks for the comments. The energy
Thanks for
was
all the support from
fantastic.
the team helping us get ready. Thank you to our fabulous producer, the Roz to our Frasier, Mark Van Allen, there, back in the background. Thank you. Appreciate the help. And I think we will call it a night. Thanks for sticking it with us.
Thanks, Princess.
Cheers. Good night.
Cheers, everyone.
May the force be with you.
Always.